Life cycles. Life's what happens when you're making all the plans, isn't it? That's what they reckon. And life cycle's the same. Alright, lads and lasses, welcome along. Tobin's Tuesday. So, the last few weeks, what we've been trying to get you to understand, where we've been leading you, is to get the idea that Power BI is a continuous system. It's not a case of just, I've put it in, job's done, right? You want this report, let's put it in, job's done. You want that report, let's put it in, job's done. It's, you put something in and you'll start to find it will mesh into other things and it will need to be evolved and managed and sustained. Find a consultancy that you can work with and that you feel that you want to work with long term. If you don't bring those skills internally or maintain that relationship, you start to then find that when the questions come for the changes and for the growth of that data set to come through, you're not equipped to deal with it. And then it becomes stale, stagnant, and people stop using it. And your investment was wasted. So you're almost better spending less to start off with, but having that sustained or having that ability to leverage and grow. What do I mean by that? Tell you what, right? Let's carry on with this, but let's get rid of this ugly thing, yeah? Let's get rid of me face. All right, so life cycle management. We kind of briefly touched on it, okay? But it's a real topic that you've got to get your head around and understand what's going on. And also then the layers that it's going to apply to, right? Because the one I've got here is just showing you kind of like a data life cycle. But in theory, you're going to need that for every aspect of your business. You should already have life cycle management in place for your raw systems that you're producing data from. But it's about then applying something that's going to work for you to your data flows or how you're doing your ETL scripting, to your data models, be they held in Power BI, be they in Azure Analysis Services, be they on the back of a beer mat. Wherever you're putting your data models, you need to have some level of life cycle management around it. And the same is going to be true about your reports and your dashboards. People who are looking at reports, they're going to want changes to those over time. There's going to be a business requirement that's driving it, a business need that needs to be understood, that needs to be catalogued, that needs to be managed and maintained as well. And likewise for your dashboards. So this isn't something that's scary. If you start thinking about lifecycle management just as a separate topic, it becomes scary. If you start thinking about it in terms of, it's just kind of what we do like, right? It's not so scary. I want to share something with you now, right? And it's about a story from my past. And it's about really kind of evolutions and how things change. So way back when, we had a simple request in terms of a core ITSM support request. What are the issues that we've got in terms of where are our tickets being raised? Where are our customers based? How many tickets are open? And that led to, we've got 50 tickets in Newcastle, 100 tickets in Slough, right? All that kind of stuff was all important. From there, and kind of becomes, is there a way we can visualize that on a map? Well, we can, no problem. From there then becomes, can we see actually what assets we've got? What are the financial sides around for those business areas? And that becomes overlaid on that map. So that single map that we built becomes something else. It does more. That data has evolved. And then obviously last year, we had COVID-19 start to strike. And the first question came around how many of the staff have got laptops so could work from home. And straight away, being able to take the asset information that we'd built for other report requirements for finance and being able to combine that with the core IT requirements of how many tickets gave us the data that we needed to produce this completely separate report. And as a result, the time taken to build this brand new report for the business, the initial draft was ready within 24 hours, right, in terms of laptop usage. And that's kind of only possible because of the life cycle management that had gone on as far as the data was concerned, and being aware that we've got a list of locations, we need to standardize that and bring in and force in that standardization in reporting layers so that when more items came through, we weren't using different location codes. We were using a single set of location information. That's a key thing that you only get from that life cycle management discussion. Yeah, being aware, hey, I need to do a report about this. Oh, well, we've already got these, 3/4 of it's there already. What are you looking for? It changes the whole game. So what do you reckon then? Hey, we've kind of touched this, haven't we? Okay, life cycle management is important. It's more than important, okay? It is central to everything that we do in Power BI. Power BI gives us a toolkit, right? In fact, the whole Microsoft estate, which is really why it is top again in the Gartner Magic Quadrants. What we need to do as Power BI professionals is start to think, how can we understand the place that Power BI will hold, not just in the business, but in terms of for IT as well. So we're going to have requirements to store data in a particular way. We're going to have requirements to only have access, or so-and-so should only have access to this data. Different requirement sets are going to come through. And Power BI is able to cope with all that, but it takes time, it takes consideration, and it takes thought. So your life cycles are key to that, because that's what's going to drive that process. If you know this data is available here, right, in this format, but I have a hard requirement for it over here in a different format, there's a question. Do we need to change the formats, or does the requirement need to adjust? and both options are just as valid as each other, right? There's no problem. As we went back to a story, we had two distinct business cases that had been driven by two different areas of the business that had led to two very different lists of sites, right? What do you do? In our case, we built a lookup table to link the two together, and we used one for reporting. And it went through as part of the ETL process. It was remapped to that other one, right? That's simple enough to do. It took a grand total of about 3 hours for somebody to map the two sets of location codes. I mean, there were 500 names, so it wasn't like a easy thing to do, but didn't take a long period of time. It wasn't a long time to do it. Most of them we could tell, a few of them we had to go, right? But it's doable. And because it's ETL scripting, you do it once, it's done. You're not going to have to keep revisiting it. It then becomes a list of where we need to check in the future when we're, as part of we've added a one here, we need to make sure we've got a corresponding entry in the lookup table. It's not a huge piece of work, but that life cycle management has meant that the company is still publicly announcing how happy they are with that dashboard as it evolved on from just focusing on IT into business continuity, into manufacturing continuity as well. So have a think about it, right? But make sure that you're always talking or thinking in terms of what is going to happen next with my data. What's the next step for it? And that next is a big turning point in Power BI parlance. So let us know what you think. Don't forget, like and subscribe down below. Hey, have a great week. Ta-da.